So as we start looking at dividing fractions, we are going to ask the question, what patterns did you notice? Okay, we're going to start dividing. When we talk about dividing, we're splitting something up into pieces. So if I have two pieces, I'm going to draw two wholes. And I'm going to divide that into 1/4. So this is the size of the piece that I'm going to split it up into. So if I have two, and I'm going to split it into 1/4, I have to ask how many 1/4 can I get. So if I want to do that, I have to split this into fourths. So I have 1 1/4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1/4. I have 8 1/4 in 2. So if I have two wholes and I want to divide it into sizes that are 1/4, I'm going to end up with 8. So the next problem is 3 divided by 1/3. So I'm going to start with 3 wholes. So I have 3 wholes. And then I'm going to divide it into pieces that are 1/3 size each. So 1/3, I have to split each of these into 1/3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 1/3. So I end up with 9 pieces that are 1/3 each. Okay, so once again, I'm asking the question, what patterns do you notice? So what patterns, can you find a pattern here? So 2 divided by 1/4 equals 8. But as we know, division usually makes our answer smaller, but this time I have 2 and it's getting larger from 8. Can you find a reason inside this problem, a way that you might take 2 and end up with 8? Can you find a way that you would take 3 and end up with 9? Now, I'm not going to answer the question for you. I really want you to ask yourself, what patterns did you notice? When you have that answer, we're going to move on and test it out. We're going to see if that is really true and it really happens in our next 2 problems. So here I have 4. So I'm going to start with 4 pieces, 4 wholes, and I'm going to count how many 1/5 I can have. So I have to divide these into 5 pieces each. So I have 5 pieces each. So how many 1/5 are in 4 wholes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So 4 divided by 1/5 equals 20. Did your pattern continue here? Did your pattern continue? Let's try one more. So I have 3 wholes, and I want to divide it by 1/4. So each of these has to be 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I count how many fourths I have 12. Is your pattern still true? Well, let me go over the pattern that I see. I know 2 to 8. How do I get there? If I'm just looking at the numbers 2 and 8, really 2 times 4 equals 8. And from 3 to 9, I could just multiply by 3, right? But 4 to 20, I could multiply by 5. And 3 to 12, I could multiply by 4. So that's the pattern that I noticed. I noticed that my answer is really multiplication. Okay, my answer is really multiplication. And the reason why that is because if each piece is 1/4, I'm going to be able to get 4 pieces out of each whole. So even though I'm dividing by a fraction, I'm technically multiplying. So really, when dividing fractions, we're not really dividing. We are really multiplying. We're really multiplying. Okay, and what we're multiplying by is the inverse of a number. So if I took 1/4, okay, the whole number 4, if I wrote it as an improper fraction, is actually 4 over 1. And the whole number 5, if I wrote it as an improper fraction, it's going to be 5 over 1. So if I look at this number and this number, what did I do to them? If I look at this number and this number, what did I do to them? All I'm really doing is I'm flipping them upside down, and we have a technical word for that. That word is called the reciprocal. The reciprocal means the inverse of a fraction. And the examples that we saw were 1/4. The reciprocal is 4 over 1. But it also works for fractions like 2/3. I'm going to flip that upside down too. It's the inverse. It's going to be 3/2. So now let's look at a problem, okay, and we're going to apply this mathematically. So I already know that I'm not really going to be dividing. I know I'm going to be multiplying. And I'm going to multiply by that reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply my original fraction, multiply it by the reciprocal of the second number. So instead of 3/4, I'm going to have 4/3. And then we're going to multiply just like we do with regular multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 3 is 9. So 2/3 divided by 3/4 is 8/9. Now, there are going to be a few things here that we can't go over. We don't have time to go over. The first one is that you must use improper fractions instead of mixed numbers. All right, so that means that we are going to look at the fraction 1 1/2 divided by 3/4. Well, I cannot multiply or divide unless I have mixed numbers. So this one I'm going to change to an improper fraction first. Remember, it's denominator times whole number plus the numerator, and I keep the denominator the same. Okay, I would like you to try this problem, and you can record your answer in the whisk.